Hi YouTube, it's Darthsteve333 here. Just on my way back from a pickup. Didn't go to the car boot today because I've made a bit of a discovery. Saw something listed on eBay which was then taken down again very suddenly, and I'd been watching it, and I sort of contacted the guy and sort of said to him, "Are you still selling these?" And he said, "Yeah." So anyway, we communicated outside of eBay, and I've just been to pick up the lot of bits and bobs. Basically, for what I've paid, it's a hell of a lot of stuff. So I'm well pleased with it. So I've just basically pulled up, had a quick look at it, just a couple of selected bits and bobs here. Really happy with it. Obviously, off on my way home now. To sort of basically get everything out of the bags and things, put it all together and take a more considered look. Yeah, just a quick aside really. Thought this might make a bit of a change, and hopefully in a minute we'll cut to basically another pickups video. Okay, this is me signing off for now.
Hello YouTube, it's Darthsteve333 here again. Hopefully I will have managed to splice a little intro to this unexpected video just beforehand. So right, as you're probably aware from having watched the first part, I managed to pick up a bit of a find, if you like. So without much ado, I'll go through those, but before then I'll just mention a couple of things that have either turned up since the last video or that I forgot to mention. Talking of forgetting to mention things, I really did mean to drop into the last video that finished playing The Last Guardian recently, and what a game, what a game. One of the best games I've ever played. The camera system takes a bit of persevering with. Essentially it's a little hard to get used to at first, but it's worth sticking with, and by the end of the game you'll sort of realise you've had an experience. It's beautifully put together. Really enjoyed it. So if you're thinking about buying it, or if you've got it and yet to play it, give it a go. Highly recommended. Anyway, referring back to things I forgot to mention, did some trades probably about a month or so ago now, and forgot to mention these in the last video. So I picked up a couple of Super Nintendo games. Two that I had back in the day and have got since, both Star Wars related. We've got Super Empire Strikes Back and Super Return of the Jedi. So very pleased to get those again, obviously unboxed. The other thing that came in the post since the last video is something, because I've got a liking for physical items, I decided to go onto I Am 8-bit and get this, and it is for my VR, and it is Res Unlimited. Sorry, Res Infinite. Res Unlimited. Yet to give it a proper go. I've obviously had a go on the demo. You'll understand probably why I haven't had much of a chance to give that a go yet. So let's crack into it. Basically, as I mentioned previously, saw something that went up on eBay, but only very briefly, and then it was taken down again. But I'd actually watched, put a watch alert on it, and went and had a look, and I noticed it had been taken down, which was quite disappointing because there was some things in there that I was interested in. So I thought I'd take the bull by the horns and basically contact the seller to see if he was still selling them, and he'd come back to me and he says, "Yeah, I'm still selling them." Sort of asked me for an offer, and there was well, two ways to go at it. There was a certain element of what he was selling that I said, okay, I'll be prepared to pay this much, or if it was everything, this much. And he went, yeah, that sounds fair to me. So personally, I think I've done fantastically out of it. I'll show you what I picked up. So it was a selection of games, predominantly you could say one system and games. but there was a bit of a mixture of all sorts in there. So probably first to mention, there was a PlayStation 1, which I'll show you here. PlayStation 1, it's still got a bit of tape on it there. As you can see, it's got a burn disc in there. So that obviously piqued my curiosity when I went to test it. And yes, it is chipped. There was just 3 actual official games with it, and just that one copy. We've got Colin McRae Rally 2, Toka World Touring Cars, and Formula 1 2001. And there was a couple of bits of paraphernalia, Codemasters catalogue, something that come out of the Gran Turismo 2 game, and I've also got the strategy guide for Gran Turismo 2. No disc or game for those, and there's the obligatory demo disc one. Just check that's not Gran Turismo, it's demo one. It came with the leads and so forth, 5 memory cards, all third party, and a third party controller which rattles a bit but seems to work. And they all came in a very nice PlayStation carry case, which there you go. As you can see, you've got the wires in there, got a few bits and bobs. Additionally, what next? There was this. This looked pretty sort of worse for wear, and you'll probably pick that up on the video. I've since taken it apart because it wasn't working originally. No leads or anything, no controllers, just this and one game. So Nintendo Entertainment System. As you can see, it's the Mattel version. It's still a UK PAL version, as you can see, but from what I understand, this is like an earlier version. So when I got it, the cartridge connector was loose as hell, so I've sort of taken it apart. Obviously I haven't cleaned it up yet, and I'm going to try and get it working consistently first, but took it apart, took the 72 pin connector off, boiled it, as I've heard tends to do wonders, and also sort of bent the pins up a little to create a bit more or a bit better contact, and that has had certain success. I've actually played, I was playing Castlevania on it for 2 hours last night testing it. It's still very finicky though. Also the game that came with it was Super Mario Bros. 3, which I actually needed. Despite having it on a number of compilations, never had the original for the Nintendo Entertainment System, so that was really good. The next random thing that was in there, in fact, it's a collection of random things, which I'll just reach over and get. It was a selection of handhelds, starting with the Game Boy Advance. Missing the battery cover sadly, and it has got some batteries in there, and it turns on and plays. Been playing some F-Zero on that, and then there was also obviously a Nintendo DS Lite, another DS Lite, that one has SpongeBob SquarePants in. Another DS Lite, and there was a box for the white DS Lite. Everything that should be in there is in there, apart from the charger, which is actually out of the box, but there you go, there's a charger, and there's the another charger. This is another thing that came with it. a DSI, and once again you can see that works. And Game Boy Advance SP, which looks a bit worse for wear, but that's actually a sticker on there, and once again it works. So there was all that lot. The next random thing was this. Now this has obviously been opened because not everything that should be in the box is in the box, but a DualShock 4 controller, and if it has been used, it's been used barely. I've sort of charged it up, synced it with the PlayStation, and that works fine. You can tell by the sticks that it's absolutely fine. So all of that lot is a decent enough haul in itself. But there were some other things, and this was what sort of caught my eye in the first place. So again, these need cleaning up. I've got a power lead, a video cable, and a Dreamcast, which is a bit dirty. It came with a controller, no VMU on this one, and the light gun. Not only did that come in the package, there was also a box Dreamcast. Again, the box is a little shabby, a bit rough around the edges, could do with a bit of work, but there is obviously a Dreamcast in there. In fact, I'll show you. One Dreamcast, power cable, and video cable. Just put that to one side over here for a moment. So you're probably thinking, why has he got more Dreamcasts? And that leads me to the final part, which is the very main reason why I picked this lot up. There was a load of Dreamcast games, which, as you may know, excuse me a moment, is the system that I'm trying to pick up a full set for. So it was a bit of a gamble because obviously you never knew all the hardware was going to work, whether all the discs would be in these cases. But I went for it, and I'm very glad I did. So what we've got, barring these two, these have all got the discs, the manuals, and are in a pretty decent shape. So these have got the discs in but no manuals. WWF Royal Rumble and Trick Style, no manual in that either. WWF Attitude, Rayman 2, these have all got manuals now from now onwards. Excuse me. Sonic Adventure, Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, which I actually picked up a couple of weeks ago from Rob. Incidentally, Rob, if you watch this, if there's anything amongst these that takes your fancy, send me a message through YouTube and let me know, and I'll sort of sort you out basically, because you were so good with me with the Super Runabout and the two Buzz Lightyear games. Next, Buzz the Move 4. Star Wars Episode 1 Jedi with Power Battles. Another Sonic Adventure. The obligatory Choo-Choo Rocket. House of the Dead 2. I believe I've got this, Virtual Athlete 2K, I will just double check it. Dragon's Blood. Sega Worldwide Soccer 2000. UEFA Striker. Tomb Raider Chronicles, MDK2, Quake 3 Arena, Tee-Off, Hidden and Dangerous. Then we've got another another copy of WWF Attitude, Ready to Rumble Boxing Round 2, Virtua Fighter 3 TB Tournament Battle, Sydney 2000, Sega Rally Championship, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, including the Eagle Watch missions, Mortal Kombat Gold, another copy of MDK2, and ECW Hardcore Revolution. Then we've got a Dream On demo disc and the Dream Key, the internet browser disc. Then, right, these are the ones that I don't already have, so these are going straight in the collection. Ultimate Fighting Championship, my copy of Sydney 2000 now, Grand Theft Auto 2, MTV Skateboarding, Worms World Party, Worms Armageddon, Chicken Run. These last two games I already have, but they're probably the best quality of, well, best quality, you know, most well known or sought after games of the lot. Resident Evil 2, and barring this slip case, slip cover sleeve, all the discs for Shenmue, and as you can see, there we go. So all of that lot in one pickup, which is immense. And while I was going through those, it reminds me, bear with me 1 second. Two of the games I got at the weekend with some trading credit at Computer Exchange. Again, these will be added into the collection because I needed these. It's Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and Bang.io. So yes, those two games cost me £55 worth of credit. I think that was 30, that was 25 from Computer Exchange. Very happy to pick them up though, but obviously bearing that in mind, and obviously they're not all as sought after as those two. All of those Dreamcast games, 2 Dreamcasts, a DSi, 3 DS Lites, a GBA, a GBA, a SP, an NES, Mario Brothers 3, 3 PlayStation games, a DualShock 4 controller, an original chipped PlayStation, and a carry case, and obviously all the other paraphernalia. Essentially, the price that I paid for this lot means that I can keep hold of all of the games I needed, essentially for free, and probably make a few quid back on top, which I'll then sort of be used to bring the Dreamcast collection ever closer to completion, which with the addition of those games it takes me up to 75%, so I'm 3/4 of the way there, which I'm absolutely chuffed to bits about. So excuse me, sorry about that. Yeah, a bit unusual for me to be posting this soon after a previous video, but it blew my mind, this particular pickup. I have spent a few quid on it. You know, it weren't a pittance, it weren't sort of 20 or 30 quid. It'd be lovely if it was, but you know, I didn't want to insult the guy by offering him absolutely bugger all for it. I offered him basically what I thought was a fair price and would enable me to get my hands on the games I wanted and you know, not be too far out of pocket once I've moved some of the doubles on. So anyway, right, I can't think of anything else to say. I don't think I've picked up anything else recently. I do now have a large stack of Dreamcast doubles. As I say, Rob, if you need any of those, give me a shout through the comments, or send me a PM through Google Plus or YouTube, or go onto my page and the About tab, and I think you can send a message through there. So yeah, if you fancy any of those, obviously let me know which ones, and we'll sort something out. Talking of that sort of thing, Daz Cajones Doloro, hopefully your book will be with you soon. I did post it last Friday, so fingers crossed it's reached you by now, or will be reaching you shortly. And Simon Games-O-Matic, I will be sending your game very shortly. I have spent myself out pretty much this month at the moment, so it may be a few days before I can get that on its way to you, but it will be with you. So anyway, right, as I say, sort of blown away with that. And what's more, the chap that I bought these from, he said he might have some more games at some point this week. So I've sent him a message saying thanks very much, everything that you've given me has worked, and very happy with. So let me know if you find any more. So I've got my fingers crossed that the unearth some more Dreamcast games. I think he's like a house clearance type of guy, so obviously no interest in sort of keeping hold of these sort of things, but yeah, I'm hoping he sort of unearths some more Dreamcast and some more that I need for my collection. So anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for bearing with me again, thank you for all the views on the last video, for the likes, and for my customary dislike, whoever you are, thank you. Thanks for the new subs, and thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon. It's Darthsteve333 scratching my ear whilst trying to wave. Darthsteve333 signing off. Bye.